I had recently shifted from Delhi to a small town near Shimla due to my job as construction engineer in highway construction. It was a small town, not many people living there, but it was really beautiful and calm. I was given an official accommodation which had 2 rooms and one living room, and it was little above on the hill. My area was very calm, so even the slightest sound can be heard easily. I had one servant who leaves my place after 7 p.m., so I am alone in home after 7. Many times I heard someone walking in my living room, and upon checking, I never saw anyone. There were instances that when I'm sitting in the living room watching TV after dinner, I felt with my reflexes that someone is looking at me from the other corner. Once I got so freaked out when I saw someone peeping inside through my window from outside, and when I went out to see, no one was there. I shrugged it off, thinking it must be some villager from nearby. One day, my sister and her husband arrived with their 6-year-old boy, my nephew, for a short vacation in Shimla, and they stayed with me. One night, my sister and her husband left to dinner in Mall Road of Shimla, and I stayed back because I was tired after day's work. So they left their son with me because he sleeps early and they might get late at night. After dinner, I was watching TV in living room, and my nephew was playing with his color book in my bedroom. At around 9 p.m., I went to my nephew to put him to bed, and then he insisted on showing me his drawing. I took a clumsy look at his drawing and said, "Wow, this is so nice. Who is this lady you have sketched? Is it your mom?" My nephew replied, "No, this is the lady who was standing near you while you were watching TV. And see, this is the sofa where you are sitting." Hearing this, the land below my feet shifted. I was so scared as hell and couldn't believe that I had been living with a ghost. I no longer live in that house, but I will never forget about this incident in my entire life. I saw a ghost when I was 8 years old. I first heard it, and it was one of the scariest moments in my life. More so than when I saw one, because this time I was alone. I had been sent to bed early for being rude. From bed, I could hear my parents arguing downstairs. No doubt to do with whatever I had done. Lying there and feeling sorry for myself, I was quickly shaken out of my self-pity by a knock at my bedroom door. This was very out of the blue. My family are not polite and they are not the sort to knock before they enter. They would usually just burst in unannounced. This led me to believe it was my brother, who was 12, playing a trick on me. I waited patiently, determined not to show any fear and let him win. A few seconds later, though, to my absolute horror, I heard my brother's voice, shouting downstairs, and my heart sank. There was a split second when I desperately searched my memory for guests or family staying round that night. But there were not any, and with my entire family now definitely downstairs, I thought with dread in my heart that there was an intruder outside my bedroom door, and I was alone. I froze with fear as my throat seized up tight, and it was the best I could do to inch the covers up over my throat and face. The knock came a second time. I wanted to scream to my mom, but I couldn't. I was terrified. My mouth was instantly dry as a bone, yet my body was dripping with sweat. Eventually, after some time of lying there in petrified fear, staring at the door, praying for it to not open. I managed to call out, "Mommy!" My brother heard and after a few seconds started running up the stairs. As he did, I heard footsteps on the creaky floor in the landing go from my bedroom door across the small landing to my parents' room. My brother burst in, and I've never been so pleased to see him in all my life. From that day on, I would sleep in my brother's bed as I was too frightened to sleep alone. One night, we were in bed talking when it just appeared out of thin air at the foot of our bed. It was an old man with an unfriendly, unhappy expression. He just looked at us, no gesture, no motion, just looking. We obviously just froze and looked back. It then turned around, walked to the back of the room, and sat down in a chair by the window. It was kind of dark, and I told my brother to turn the bedside lamp on. But he wouldn't. He was too scared to reach his arm out of the cover we had pulled up to our eyes. Eventually, it just faded away. This all definitely happened, and there was no mistaking what we had seen or heard. It's obviously a very rare event to see a ghost in such detail and clarity and so up close. But that doesn't in any way make it unreal.